Have you ever felt like there's a war happening inside you? A voice pulling you toward light and another dragging you into darkness. Ibn Arabi believed that every human carries two souls within one that remembers its divine origin and one that's lost in illusion. Every day, without realizing it, you're being tested by which soul you choose to feed. This is not a story about heaven or hell. It's about the silent battle within your own heart, the battlefield that decides your destiny. Because before Allah tests your life, He tests your soul. And only when you understand the two forces living inside you, can you finally uncover who you really are. Ibn Arabi taught that every human being carries within them two souls, two distinct mirrors that reflect different realities of existence. One mirror faces the divine light, pure, calm, and illuminated by remembrance. The other mirror faces the shadow of the self, dark, restless, and consumed by desire. Every choice you make decides which mirror you polish. When you act with humility, patience, and compassion, the mirror of light shines clearer, revealing the face of your Creator in every breath. But when you act from pride, jealousy, or greed, the mirror of shadow grows thicker, blinding you to the truth of who you really are. Ibn Arabi believed that this inner conflict is not a curse, but a sacred opportunity, a battlefield designed by Allah Himself to awaken your consciousness. You are both the light and the shadow, the servant and the test. The beauty of life lies in recognizing that you are not your emotions or your failures. You are the awareness, witnessing them. The moment you remember Allah in the middle of anger or pain, the light within you begins to rise. That moment of remembrance is what separates the awakened from the asleep. Every soul is born with these two forces, but only a few learn to live from the side that knows it belongs to Him. The real question is not whether you have both sides, but which one you are feeding right now. Life, according to Ibn Arabi, is not a punishment, but a divine classroom. Every experience you face, joy, loss, love, or betrayal, is part of a spiritual exam designed specifically for your heart. The world is your test paper, and your reactions are your answers. When you are blessed, does your heart overflow with gratitude, or does pride whisper that you earned it yourself? When you are tested with hardship, do you fall into despair, or do you remember that Allah never burdens a soul beyond its capacity? The heart is where the two souls meet, the soul of the ego and the soul of the spirit. They wrestle in silence with every breath you take. Ibn Arabi said the purpose of life is to learn which voice you follow when no one is watching. The hidden test is not in the events themselves, but in the invisible shifts inside you. Every disappointment is a mirror showing you your attachment. Every success is a reminder of how easily you forget the source. When your heart learns to remain still in both ease and pain, you begin to taste freedom. The test was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to uncover you, to reveal which part of your soul truly leads your life. Deep inside, two voices call out to you at all times. One whispers from the dust, the other sings from the heavens. The voice of the lower self says, "I deserve, I control, I am the center." It feeds on comparison, anger, and endless desire. The other voice, the voice of the spirit, whispers softly, "He deserves, he controls, he is the center." It brings peace, surrender, and stillness. Ibn Arabi described these as the twin calls of the Nafs and the Ruh, the self that belongs to earth and the self that belongs to light. The tragedy of life is that most people never hear the second one, because the noise of the world drowns it out. Yet that voice never leaves you. It waits in silence, in prayer, in the pauses between your thoughts. Every time you choose patience over pride, or forgiveness over revenge, you amplify that divine call within you. It is not a loud voice, it is a knowing that doesn't shout. Ibn Arabi said that when a person begins to live from this higher voice, they no longer react, they respond. They no longer chase, they attract. Their calm becomes a form of worship, their silence a language of love. The real awakening happens when you realize that both voices are inside you, but only one of them leads you home. Ibn Arabi revealed one of the most profound truths about human relationships, that every person who enters your life is not just a random encounter, but a mirror reflecting something hidden within you. Every friend, enemy, lover, and stranger is a reflection of your own state, a sign from Allah designed to help you see yourself more clearly. You think you are reacting to them, but in truth, you are reacting to your own reflection through them. The arrogant person you despise may be showing you the pride that still lives quietly in your own heart. The gentle soul who calms you may be awakening the mercy that Allah placed inside you, but which you had forgotten. Nothing in your relationships is accidental. Everything is a form of guidance. Ibn Arabi said that Allah speaks to His servants through the language of events and the faces of people. To the one who is awake, every meeting is a verse from a living Quran. Think about the moments that shook you, the betrayal that broke your trust, the rejection that made you question your worth, the kindness that brought tears to your eyes. Each one carried a message, a coded lesson for your soul. Some people come into your life to test your patience, others to test your forgiveness. Some are sent to remind you of what love feels like, others to remind you that not all love is divine. When someone hurts you, your lower soul demands revenge, but your higher soul sees the lesson. The pain is polishing you, making you softer, purer, and closer to Allah. Ibn Arabi taught that when you reach a higher level of awareness, you stop seeing people as good or bad. You start seeing them as mirrors of your inner world, each one reflecting what you need to heal or strengthen. If someone constantly triggers anger in you, it is not because they are powerful, it is because they are touching a wound that still lives inside you. That person is not your enemy. They are a guide disguised as conflict. The more you resist them, the louder the lesson becomes. But the moment you respond with calm, forgiveness, or silence, the mirror shifts. The reflection changes because you have changed. That is how Allah teaches His servants through repetition until recognition. When you finally see that every interaction is a mirror, you stop blaming others and start refining yourself. You realize that life is not happening to you, but for you. Ibn Arabi wrote that the world is the great mirror of the divine. Every soul you meet carries a spark of Allah's attributes. Some reveal His beauty, others His majesty. Some show you His gentleness, others His power. When you truly understand this, your perspective on people transforms. You no longer expect perfection from them because you recognize that they, too, are being tested just as you are. You stop judging their flaws because you begin to see your own reflected in their eyes. The harsh teacher, the distant parent, the unfaithful friend, all of them become instruments through which Allah shapes your inner being. Each one holds up a piece of the mirror that forms your spiritual self. This understanding brings freedom. You no longer waste your energy trying to control how people treat you. Instead, you observe how you respond. You stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and start asking, "What is Allah trying to show me through this?" That shift changes everything. It turns pain into wisdom and conflict into compassion. The people who once wounded you become the very reason you grew. Ibn Arabi said that when you reach this level of insight, your heart becomes vast, so vast that it can contain both love and disappointment without breaking. You learn to thank Allah, not only for those who comfort you, but also for those who challenge you. So the next time someone provokes you, pause. Instead of reacting, observe. Ask yourself, what is this person revealing about me? If you can answer that with honesty, you have already passed one of life's deepest spiritual tests. Remember, the world outside you is only the shadow of the world within. Every face is a message, every conflict a classroom, every encounter a verse. The people you meet are not blocking your path, they are the path. And when you finally learn to see Allah's reflection in every mirror, you will understand the hidden truth Ibn Arabi spent his life teaching, that there is no other, only reflections of the One. Every day of your life, whether you realize it or not, you are standing at the crossroads of two paths, the path of the lower self and the path of the awakened soul. Ibn Arabi called this the eternal moment of choice. It is not a single grand decision, but 1,000 small ones, hidden in the ordinary flow of your days. When you open your eyes in the morning, when you respond to someone's words, when you face disappointment, or when you are given a blessing in every one of those moments, your soul is quietly choosing who you are becoming. The test is not always visible, but it is always present. And every choice you make feeds one of the two souls within you, the soul of light or the soul of shadow. The soul of light grows when you choose remembrance over distraction, gratitude over complaint, and humility over pride. It thrives when you forgive, when you stay silent in anger, when you give without expecting return, and when you turn to Allah in both joy and pain. Every time you do that, the divine breath within you expands. You begin to feel lighter, calmer, more rooted in peace. The world may not change around you, but something within you begins to glow. Ibn Arabi wrote that the light soul is strengthened not by perfection, but by direction, by the consistent turning of the heart toward the divine, even after failure. That is why repentance is such a powerful act in Islam. It is not the end of a journey. It is the moment your true journey begins. The soul of shadow, on the other hand, feeds on forgetfulness. It grows in moments when you let your desires decide for you, when your tongue speaks before your heart listens, when you chase recognition instead of truth. It whispers that you are right even when you are wrong, that you deserve more even when you have enough, that you are the center when Allah is. It promises satisfaction but delivers emptiness. Ibn Arabi said that this soul does not die easily. It must be starved. It fades only when you stop feeding it with attention, resentment, and desire. Every act of remembrance weakens it. Every act of sincerity burns it. But it never disappears completely, for its presence is part of the divine test. Without the shadow, you would never know the value of light. Without the temptation, you would never discover your strength. In the unseen world, every decision you make leaves an imprint on your heart. Ibn Arabi compared the heart to a piece of polished metal. Each good act adds shine, while each heedless act leaves a stain. Over time, a heart that keeps choosing the lower self becomes covered until the light within can no longer shine through. The person may continue living, but the inner clarity fades. They see without seeing, hear without hearing, and pray without presence. Yet the mercy of Allah is infinite. One sincere choice, one moment of honest turning back can cleanse years of darkness. That is how generous your Creator is. The gates of return are always open, but the step must be yours. This constant choice between light and shadow is not about morality alone. It is about consciousness. Every human being is given both intellect and intuition, one to analyze, the other to feel. The intellect helps you navigate the outer world, but intuition guides you toward the unseen. Ibn Arabi said that the intellect can build your life, but only the heart can build your eternity. Every decision you make either sharpens that inner awareness or dulls it. When you choose the path of the Spirit, you begin to sense divine timing in everything. Delays no longer frustrate you, rejections no longer define you, and success no longer inflates you. You begin to see Allah's hand in every motion, every silence, every coincidence. But the shadow soul resists this surrender. It wants control, it wants proof, it wants comfort. It will make you chase validation from people, power, or wealth, whispering that happiness lies in what you can hold. Yet Ibn Arabi taught that the true seeker learns to live with open hands, receiving without clinging, and giving without fear. The shadow soul fears loss. The light soul understands that nothing is ever lost in Allah's sight. Every sacrifice, every hidden act of goodness, every silent tear, they are all recorded by the one who never forgets. Imagine how different your life would feel if, in every small decision, you paused for a heartbeat and asked, "Which soul am I feeding right now?" That single question has the power to change your destiny. Because the truth is, most people fail not from one great mistake, but from countless small choices made unconsciously. They drift, unaware that every reaction, every thought, every word is shaping their spiritual being. But the awakened soul knows that the real battle is not outside, it is within. Ibn Arabi said that Allah hides His nearness behind the ordinary moments of life. The purpose of this hiddenness is to see who will seek Him anyway. Every trial, every silence, every delay is part of that divine concealment. It is Allah's way of asking, "Will you remember me when I appear absent?" Those who do are the ones who pass the hidden test. They choose surrender over certainty, faith over control, remembrance over distraction, and through that choice, they draw closer to the truth of who they are. Not a body chasing pleasure, but a soul yearning for the divine. In the end, the moment of choice never leaves you. It meets you in every breath, every temptation, every act of love or anger. You are writing your unseen story with every decision, and when your journey ends, you will meet the soul you have built through those choices, either radiant with light or veiled in shadow. So, pause often, choose consciously, and remember that every moment is an invitation from Allah to return to Him. The real question is not whether you are being tested, but whether you are awake enough to see the test and choose the light. There comes a point in every seeker's journey when something begins to shift quietly, almost invisibly at first. You still walk among people, still work, laugh, and feel pain, but something deep inside you has changed. The same world feels different, the same words sound deeper, and silence begins to speak louder than noise. This is what Ibn Arabi called the awakening of the true soul. It is not a sudden explosion of light or a dramatic transformation. It is a slow unveiling, like dawn creeping over a long, dark night. The light doesn't rush in, it grows gently, illuminating corners of your being that were once hidden. You begin to see that the journey was never about reaching somewhere else. It was about remembering who you already are. Before awakening, you believe you are your thoughts, your emotions, your pain. You identify with every passing feeling, thinking, "This is me." But as the light soul begins to awaken, you realize that you are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. The anger, sadness, and fear still appear, but they no longer control you. You watch them arise and pass, like clouds drifting across your awareness. Ibn Arabi said that the awakened soul is one who sees the movement of their inner states without becoming lost in them. This awareness is the first sign of awakening when you stop drowning in your own emotions and start witnessing them from the stillness of your heart. At this stage, Allah allows you to feel both your light and your shadow more intensely. The awakening doesn't erase your darkness, it reveals it. Your weaknesses, fears, and attachments come to the surface so that you may face them. It can be painful, even confusing, because you may think you are falling backward. But in truth, the unveiling of your darkness is proof that the light within you has grown strong enough to expose it. Ibn Arabi often compared the soul to a mirror. When the mirror is covered in dust, you cannot see what is reflected. Awakening is not about replacing the mirror. It is about cleaning it until it shows only the reflection of the divine. Each tear, each test, each heartbreak, these are the hands of Allah polishing the surface of your soul. When the true soul awakens, you begin to feel an unshakable peace that is not dependent on circumstances. You may still experience pain, but something within you knows that the pain is meaningful. You may still lose people, but you no longer lose yourself with them. The world's chaos no longer pulls you as it once did because your roots have shifted from earth to heaven. Ibn Arabi wrote that the awakened soul does not escape the world. It transforms its relationship with it. You still live among people, but you no longer seek your worth from them. You still work and strive, but not for validation or fear. You do it as an act of worship. You begin to realize that every breath is a chance to remember Allah, and that remembrance itself becomes your home. In this state, you understand that perfection does not belong to you. You stop trying to control your flaws or pretend to be righteous. You see that even your imperfections are part of your divine design. Ibn Arabi said that awakening is not becoming perfect. It is realizing that perfection belongs only to Allah. Your role is not to erase your darkness, but to surrender it, to bring it into the light of remembrance until it becomes transparent. When you do this, even your flaws begin to serve a purpose. Your jealousy teaches humility. Your anger reveals where you are still wounded. Your sadness deepens your compassion. Every emotion becomes a doorway to greater awareness. The awakened soul stops fighting against itself and begins to transform its pain into prayer. The most beautiful sign of awakening is a new kind of silence. You no longer feel the need to argue, to prove, or to be seen. You start speaking less, not because you are afraid, but because you are full. You realize that most words are distractions from truth, and the real communication happens in presence, in how your heart feels around others, not in what your tongue says. You forgive easily because you understand that every soul is struggling with its own awakening. You stop judging because you see the same divine light flickering inside everyone, even if it's hidden beneath layers of ego or pain. Ibn Arabi said that the awakened one sees Allah in all things, in beauty and in suffering, in laughter and in loss. When your heart reaches this point, the world becomes a mosque, and every moment becomes prayer. But awakening is not the end, it is the beginning of true servanthood. The closer you come to Allah, the more you realize your helplessness. You understand that you are not the doer, you are being done through. You see that every act of kindness, every insight, every success was never yours. It was Him moving through you. This realization humbles the awakened soul. It removes pride and fills it with awe. You begin to live in a constant state of gratitude, not just for blessings, but for trials too. You start to thank Allah for breaking you, because every fracture was a doorway for His light to enter. As the true soul awakens, life itself becomes your teacher. You no longer ask for ease, you ask for clarity. You no longer chase happiness, you chase truth. You stop seeing problems as punishments and start seeing them as invitations to rise. Every challenge becomes a call to turn inward, to polish the mirror a little more, to remember the source once again. Ibn Arabi said that the awakened soul is one that walks through fire and still says, Alhamdulillah, because it knows deep, unshakably, that nothing burns except what is false. And that is the secret of awakening. It is not about escaping the world, but about seeing Allah within it. The day you realize that every breath, every tear, and every silence is part of His design, that is the day you awaken. You no longer seek Him in distant places. You find Him in your own heart. The true soul does not need to reach the heavens. It discovers that the heavens were inside all along. There will come a day silent, vast, and beyond the grasp of time, when every soul will finally see what it has become. Ibn Arabi called this the unveiling, the moment when the veils of illusion are lifted and the truth of your inner being stands naked before its creator. On that day, you will not meet a stranger. You will meet yourself, the soul you have built through your choices, your intentions, your moments of patience, and your hidden acts of faith. For all of life was never about what you gained or lost. It was about what you became. Every hardship, every breath, every unseen tear was shaping that inner being that will one day walk out of your body and stand in the presence of Allah. In this world, the test is disguised. It comes in the form of daily routines, fleeting desires, and invisible battles within your own mind. You are constantly choosing with every thought and every reaction what your soul will look like in the next world. The external world was only a mirror. The true journey was always inward. Ibn Arabi said that the day of judgment is not a future event, but a reflection of the present state of your heart. The fire of regret and the light of peace are both being born within you right now. If your soul has been shaped by remembrance, humility, and love, it will radiate serenity when it stands before Allah. But if it has been hardened by pride, greed, and neglect, it will tremble in its own darkness. The hidden reward is not given to you. It is revealed from within you. Every act of sincerity you performed, even if the world ignored it, has been witnessed. When you smiled at someone in pain, when you forgave someone who never apologized, when you held your tongue instead of responding in anger, those moments are not forgotten. They are the seeds of light planted in your heart, waiting for the day when Allah allows them to bloom. Ibn Arabi wrote that even the smallest act done purely for the sake of Allah becomes eternal. It lives beyond time, glowing in the unseen realm. The people of light on the day of resurrection are not those who were perfect in deeds, but those whose hearts remained facing Allah through every rise and fall. But for those who lived heedlessly, who fed their ego more than their soul, who sought the approval of creation more than the Creator, that day will be a painful awakening. Ibn Arabi said that hell is not a punishment created by an angry God. It is the natural reflection of a soul that refused to align with truth. It is the fire of one's own distance from the divine, the burning of all the false identities and attachments that once seemed so important. The flames do not consume what is real, they consume what is unreal. In that purification, even hell becomes a mercy, because it cleanses what pride had corrupted. The awakened ones will recognize, even in the fire, a sign of Allah's justice and compassion, while the heedless will only see loss. The hidden reward, however, is not only in the afterlife. It begins here, in the unseen transformations that happen inside you when you choose Allah over your own desires. Every time you surrender your will to His, your heart expands and a new peace takes root. You begin to feel the sweetness of servanthood, the quiet joy of knowing that your worth is not tied to what others see, but to what Allah knows. Ibn Arabi taught that this inner joy is a glimpse of paradise, a fragrance from the garden that your deeds are building in the unseen. When the Prophet ﷺ said, "Heaven and hell are closer to you than your own shoelaces," he meant exactly this, that your state of being in each moment is either creating your heaven or your hell. The true believers, Ibn Arabi said, live in a state of hidden contentment. They may have little, they may suffer much, but their eyes hold a quiet light that no hardship can extinguish. Their secret is that they see every situation as a gift. When Allah gives them ease, they thank Him. When He tests them, they thank Him more, because they know that every event carries a hidden mercy. Sometimes Allah gives you blessings to draw you close through gratitude. Other times, He gives you trials to pull you close through need. In both, the goal is the same: nearness. The hidden reward for the awakened soul is not wealth, fame, or comfort. It is intimacy with Allah, the peace of knowing that He is with you in every breath. As the soul continues to awaken, it begins to lose interest in what once felt urgent. The opinions of people, the competition for recognition, the noise of comparison, they fade like echoes in the distance. What matters now is the purity of intention. You start to live for the gaze of one, not the applause of many. You start to understand that even if the whole world misunderstands you, it doesn't matter because Allah understands. Ibn Arabi wrote that when a person reaches this state, they begin to taste the eternal while still living in time. Their prayers no longer feel like rituals, they feel like conversations. Their solitude no longer feels empty, it feels sacred. Their tears are not of sadness, but of recognition. The recognition that they were never alone, that every moment of pain was a call from the beloved to return home. When death finally comes, it will not be an end for such a soul, but a continuation, the final unveiling of what was hidden all along. The righteous will not fear it, they will greet it like a long-awaited friend. Ibn Arabi described death as the great awakening, the moment when the soul removes the last veil of separation and sees reality as it truly is. The soul that lived in remembrance will find itself surrounded by light, welcomed by peace, and embraced by the mercy it spent its life seeking. But the soul that lived in heedlessness will be startled by its own shadow, by the distance it created from its source. It will cry not because Allah has wronged it, but because it sees how it wronged itself. And yet, even in that moment, Allah's mercy remains vast. Ibn Arabi reminded us that the divine compassion encompasses even those who have fallen far. For every soul carries within it a spark of the divine, and no spark is ever truly lost. The doors of forgiveness are never closed, they are only veiled by forgetfulness. The final judgment, therefore, is not an act of cruelty but of truth. It is the unveiling of what you have made of yourself. You are shown your light or your darkness, not as punishment, but as reflection. Allah does not invent your destiny, He reveals it to you. So while you are still alive, you have the most precious gift, the chance to shape that reflection. Every day is a new page in the story of your soul. Every prayer is a cleansing rain. Every act of kindness is a brick in your eternal home. Ibn Arabi said that the true servant lives with the awareness that Allah is watching, not to catch mistakes, but to polish the heart. The real success is not reaching paradise, but becoming a soul that belongs there. One day, when this world fades and the illusions fall away, you will stand before your Lord. You will see the soul you created through every choice, every breath, every moment of remembrance or forgetfulness. For some, that meeting will feel like returning home. For others, it will feel like facing a stranger. But for those who chose love, sincerity, and surrender, that moment will be beyond words, the heart finally resting in the presence of the one it always longed for. And in that moment, you will understand what Ibn Arabi meant when he said, "The end is in the beginning, and the beginning was always with him." The hidden reward is not found in the world you see, but in the unseen being formed inside you. You are creating your eternity with every heartbeat, and when the final veil lifts, you will finally see every test was mercy, every pain was polishing, and every breath was leading you home. And in the end, when the noise of the world fades and your body returns to dust, only one thing will rise the soul you have built. Every choice, every prayer, every silent struggle will stand beside you as witnesses. Ibn Arabi said the greatest journey is not across lands or through time, but within, from the self that forgets Allah to the self that never leaves His presence. So ask yourself now, which soul are you feeding? The one chained by ego, or the one that remembers its source? Because one day, you will meet both, and only one will lead you home.